Right, guys, here we are, MMA UK News, Stoomboy, as always, MMA UK BJJ show. So, talking about grappling, specifically Grapple Queens. So, obviously, Grapple Kings putting on the Grapple Queens event. It's going to be very historic. I mean, I keep talking about this. It's first all-female event in Irish grappling history. So, so it's going to be awesome to see. Obviously, some of the female grapplers are going to be on the card that night. I mean, if we look at the card so far, it's crazy. I mean, you got females from all over the world, not just in Ireland. You got the UK, Scotland. You got I think Brazil, Canada, Iceland, Spain. Do you know what I mean? So females from all over are going to be descending on Port on the 3rd of September. So that's going to be the I hope I say this right. Mace Art Centre. I know that when I first started doing interviews for Grapple Kings, some of the Irish people, some of the Irish grapplers will remember this. I kept saying Port wrong. It was like Port Louise or Port and I kept saying it wrong. So hopefully Mace Art Centre. But normally I get messages to tell me, Stoom, you said that wrong. So I'm sure somebody will pick me up on it. So yeah, it's going to be Saturday, 3rd of September. Anybody looking for tickets, make sure you head over to, there's 2 different places you can get them. You can get them through the Grapple Queens Facebook page that was set up. There's also the Grapple Kings Facebook page. So on Facebook, so head over to there, get your tickets directly from them. There's also pay-per-view through Fight TV, as there normally is. So again, anybody that's not going to make the event, head over to Fight TV and you'll be able to get all the details. And we'll give you more details about it at the end of this call. So my next guest is going to be a part of Grapple Queens. So Megan Hamill, SBG. So Megan's going to be part of the 8-women purple belt tournament. So Megan's an awesome grappler, not just a grappler, MMA fighter as well. So we had a laugh. I'm a jiu-jitsu guy. Everybody knows I don't like getting punched in the face. But Megan, that's what you enjoy doing.
Definitely is what I enjoy doing, yeah. Just love pizza.
Yeah. So how you feeling? How you doing anyway? How's everything going with yourself?
Feeling good, yeah. Everything feels good at the moment, yeah.
Nice. How's training going? Because obviously training's tough. I mean, I know that I speak to like you young kids. Do you know what I mean? Anybody like 20, early 20s and younger than that? I mean, you guys are training all the time. All the time. You make me tired just watching, seeing how much you guys train.
Yeah, I'm trying to train as much as I possibly can at the moment, just cram it all in and try to get a good quality training in.
Yeah. Good setup as well, SBG. Awesome setup. Really good setup they have. And I know we've got obviously SBG Mori here in Scotland and just seeing the level of these guys when they go out and do competitions and obviously seeing the level that's come out of SBG over the years over in Ireland's been unbelievable. So it's definitely a great setup for you.
Yeah, it's quite a high level even in the gym. So every day it's constantly like pushing myself to try maintain, keep up with everybody and just try beat them the best I can.
Nah, it's good.
Just try to get anything.
It's good when you've got that level. I mean, especially when you've got like maybe different levels in the gym that you can go in and like older people as well, obviously, because I like to call us older grapplers Mustangs because anybody over the age of 40, if you're still doing jiu-jitsu over the age of 40, then there's something wrong with us. So I like to call us Mustangs. So it must be great having that level of experience and do you know what I mean, that you're able to then kind of reach on or speak to and get advice whenever you're doing, whether not just grappling, but obviously MMA as well.
Yeah, I love the wide range of like the lads, the girls, different age groups. Everybody thinks a little bit differently as well, which is what I really appreciate. And you kind of get like a little bit of everybody's game, so you kind of pick up on it eventually.
Yeah. And you've been in the game for, I mean, you're only what, 21, I believe, 21?
Yeah, 21.
You've been in the game forever. What seems like forever, a long time.
Yeah, it's been quite a while. I started when I was 16 in MMA and then jiu-jitsu just kind of took off from there as well. So it's been a while.
What's your favourite? I mean, obviously, because everybody's got a favourite, whether it be jiu-jitsu or MMA. Because obviously, we say about MMA, obviously you're taking punches to the face and stuff like that. So it can't be enjoyable. I wouldn't say it's enjoyable. But what's your preference between the two?
To be honest, it changes all the time because with jiu-jitsu, I love jiu-jitsu and how calm it makes me feel. I've always used it to make me feel calm. So I go to jiu-jitsu training to relax and still test myself and push myself.
Yeah.
but it's not as intense go. Whereas if I want something that's a bit more like intense, then MMA is the way to go.
Yeah, yeah. And that's the thing. I mean, looking at this purple belt tournament, there's quite a few MMA fighters in the actual 8 women. There's quite a few. I mean, looking at it, you've got obviously we talked about Indra Davis. We were talking to her yesterday. We were talking to Kerry Amos, who stepped in for Bryony Terrell. Do you know what I mean? You've got obviously yourself and um, not just in the purple belt, but the blue belt as well. A lot of amateur MMA fighters in there as well. So it's very, very. I mean, when it comes to MMA, like the grappling in MMA and the grappling in obviously what you're going to be doing at Grapple Queens, is there much apart from obviously the punches and so on? Is there much of a difference between the two?
I've in general, it's mostly the same. Just in MMA, you have to be a bit more aware of certain positions that you probably wouldn't have to be aware of in jiu-jitsu.
Yeah,
Like in MMA, you don't want to be pinned and like punched in the face, whereas in jiu-jitsu, you can kind of take your time, relax, and figure it out properly.
yeah, yeah. I always talk about when I talk to any MMA fighter, and I always say, especially if they're doing grappling, do you ever get a point in a grappling match where you think I can just punch them in the face, or I can do this, or I can do that? Does that ever cross your mind at all?
Oh, 100%. And then I have to stop myself and like, oh, no, wrong place, wrong place. That
Yes.
happens all the time.
Yeah, because I always worry. I mean, especially obviously different martial arts. Do you know what I mean? And thinking, do you know what I mean? You can because there's been many a time. I remember watching. I was at an event and it was 2 MMA fighters and they were up against each other, and you saw watching them that they were looking at each other thinking, yeah, and then but none of them started. I remember talking to them after it, and both of them said the same thing. Like at one point, we were both just going to crack each other, and we would have just got told off, look, don't do that again. But yeah, so it must be not difficult, but obviously remembering where you are at the
You
time.
have to be aware of where you are, just in case. Can't make a mistake.
What about nerves? Obviously, we talk about nerves as well. I mean, obviously, nerves, the nerves between an MMA fight and nerves between a grappling matchup. What's the different kind of nerves when you go into both of them?
Overall, I tend to feel the same about both. I just kind of get to a point of the day just before I'm about to like compete or fight where it's just like, oh, I'm gonna go in and do this, try my best. For me, my most nerves would come from probably doing interviews and speaking, but in for fights, easiest thing compared to interviews. So
Yeah,
it
yeah.
kind of balances it.
Very true, very true. So,
Mhm.
and then what about Grapple Queens then? So Grapple Queens, I mean, all female Irish event, grappling event. So obviously historic. I mean, that's going to go down. I always say that in 100 years' time, people look and say, well, oh, when was the first all female grappling event? Well, it was Grapple Queens, and you had all these different women. Megan Hamill was on it and things like that. So how's it for you? I mean, obviously being part of something so historic.
To be honest, it's really cool because I was actually on the first Grappling Kings just when I turned to blue belt. And
Yeah,
so the fact that I get to go back and be part of, especially a Grapple Queens card, it's amazing to me. Like, I really appreciate even getting the opportunity to go back.
yeah,
I'm
yeah,
very excited for it.
yeah, yeah. It's very historic. I mean, it's something that like events like this, are like all female events, or even not like having cards where it's like half male, half female. Do you know what I mean? These are things that should have happened years ago. I mean, all the kind of females I've spoke to that are going to be part of this card, they all agreed exactly the same. That do you know what I mean? It's good that it's happening now, but definitely it's something that should have happened a number of years ago, even before you came into jiu-jitsu and MMA and so on. It should have happened long before that.
Definitely. I think it's great that they're getting an opportunity now. Would have been nicer a little bit earlier, but
Yeah,
we'll take it and use it now.
yeah, yeah. I mean, there's always a time. I mean, we talked about. I think I was talking to was it Indra Davis, and we were talking about not Indra Davis. Sorry, it was we were talking about Ronda Rousey and coming into MMA, and obviously before that there was female MMA, but it tended to be on like smaller shows, and whereas obviously Ronda Rousey coming in and changing the game at the time, it was potentially the right time. She was the right person at the right time, so potentially something like this. Obviously, an all-female card. Obviously now seems to be the right time for them to do that. As I say, get a lot of views. Women put on better fights. I always mention Rosa Walsh. Rosa Walsh is probably one of my favourite people to watch, because when Rosa comes out, she'll come out and put on an absolute show. And Rosa's one of these people, when I speak to her, she'll like, Stoom, I don't care if it's a man or a woman. Just make sure they've got a fight for me. So she doesn't really care at all.
Yeah, any fight would do, but it's great having the girls as well. But in
Yeah.
general, any fight at all.
I love that attitude. I do love that. So, what's next for you then, Megan? So, obviously, Grapple Queens. I keep getting that. I keep saying it. Grapple Queens is obviously going to be your main focus next weekend. So, what would you like to see yourself doing going forward for the rest of the year?
So once Grapple Queens is over and I test myself at that, I'd just like to keep on continuously testing myself for the rest of the year at least, and
Yeah.
even after that, obviously. We'll even maybe try get like 1 or 2 MMA fights in, more jiu-jitsu competitions, and just really build up that experience while I can.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, there's a lot of things coming up. I mean, obviously, the last couple of years, obviously, we struggled to be able to do anything because obviously COVID, and then now there seems to be a show every other weekend now, whether it be a grappling show or an MMA show, which is fantastic. Certainly for obviously somebody your age, to be able to grow more than what you have been able to do over the last couple of years.
Yeah, it's really cool. Like I try to enter as many competitions as I possibly can, especially in jiu-jitsu. Like this year, I think I've done more than I have any other year combined even. It's just
Yeah.
non-stop go, go, go. I'm pushing myself more and more because it's great that they're back open, so
Yeah.
everybody's excited.
Yes, yes. Obviously, a lot of events coming up, so looking forward to obviously seeing you on September the 3rd. So as I say, it's going to be an awesome purple belt card. I mean, the card already for that purple belt. When you look at it, do you know what I mean? It's like Rosie Clark, Libby, Indra, obviously Kerry, yourself, Samara, Michaela Steele, and Zara. 8 unbelievable grapplers, all with different styles as well. Really, really different styles. So. Do you know what I mean? All coming from different gyms, so all come from great gyms as well. Really, really good gyms. So really, really good gym setup. So, and every one of you are buzzing for this as well. Really, really up for this. Really, really looking to put on a show.
Yeah, it's going to be very exciting, and it's definitely going to be a show anyways. I'm really looking forward to it. I have a lot of respect for all the girls in my category anyways. Especially Rosie, like we grew up kind of on the same timeline as well, so we'd run into each other quite a lot. So
Yeah.
all the girls are really great on it.
That's the thing. I was looking at obviously your record, because obviously you faced a few of the females on this card already. So Indra, I know you obviously you and Indra have crossed paths at one point. You had a matchup, I believe, with Sarah Carney, if I get that right. Yeah, Sarah Carney, who's obviously in the blue belt tournament. Obviously you mentioned Rosie as well. So a lot of you women they'll all know each other. They'll all come across each other at some point over the years.
Yeah, we've all crossed paths at some point or another. It's good though because even though we've crossed paths, it's kind of like, oh well, she caught me with that, so I can't let her do that again. So I have to keep on pushing and pushing and get there faster.
Yes.
So it really pushes a lot.
Yeah, no, it's going to be great to see. Absolutely brilliant to see. So, what the final thing for you then, Megan? So, obviously, you've been in the game, as I mentioned, what seems like forever. It's been what you said, 16, so it's been what 5 years. But you've
Yeah.
done so much in that 5 years already. So, so I'm pretty sure, obviously, over the years as well, you've trained with a lot of amazing people. But anybody you want to shout out to, so friends, family members, teammates, sponsors, anything like that.
Just shout out to all my coaches, John, Jonesy, Dave Roach, all the main ones that really support me a lot and help me out so much. And then my family, of course, mom, dad, brother, sister, all of them. And of course, Pet Stop, the company that I work for, they really help me quite a lot as well.
Yeah, yeah. I was going to say that mum and dad are 100% support you. I saw that on, like, I think it was, I can't remember, it was your Instagram or your Facebook, and I think there was a post went up. Was it you were out running or you jogging or something like that? So, and obviously a post went up where you had medals on, and I think were you with your dad, and so your family are 100% supportive of everything that you do.
Yeah, my family are very, very supportive. They might not always like to watch it, especially my mum, but they definitely appreciate it and understand why I do it and why I push
Yeah,
myself so much. So they're really great that way.
yeah. Well, some big shout out to mum and dad. As I say, mum and dad.
Big sh-
What about you said about mum? Mum might not want to watch it. Obviously, dad. I take it dad is like, especially if it's an MMA fight. I take it dad's right there at the front, like, yeah, do this, do that.
It's kind of mixed. To be honest, I never let him watch it while I was growing up. I
Yeah,
kind of like send him off for a little bit and then he can come back.
yeah,
So he kind of just waits behind the scenes. He doesn't go out to the octagon or anything. He
yeah,
is like supportive where he'll drive me around, watch it if he can, if I let him. But in general, like he kind of stays more in the background as well. But my mom won't even look
yeah.
at it anytime.
Yeah, yeah. Oh no, listen, I'm sure one day, mum might be there.
One day,
I'd say
one day,
one day she'll be there shouting and screaming, Kega, do this, do that.
hopefully.
So, so guys, there we go then. We're going to have Megan Hamill, SBG, going to be in the 8-women purple belt tournament at Grapple Queens. So Grapple Queens going to be next Saturday. So we're only just a week away now. So Saturday, 3rd of September. Going to be at the Dunny Mace Arts Centre in Port So again, hopefully I said that right. Hopefully I did say it right. So yeah, anybody looking for tickets, head over to the Grapple Queens or Grapple Kings Facebook page, and you'll be able to get the tickets directly through there. Anybody that can't make the event on the night, it is going to be live on Fight TV. Now, a couple of different payment options. There is a standalone pay-per-view price, which is $14.99. Obviously, you can work that out through euros and pounds and stuff like that. So, but $14.99. There also is a monthly option, which is $4.99, which is probably more cost efficient because obviously you can have it and then you'll get all of the Grapple Kings and potentially other Grapple Queens events that come up in the year, as well as Grapple Fest and a few other different events. So the monthly option is probably the best monetary value. I mean, Megan, you've been in the game for a while. You know how much pay-per-views cost. So
Yeah.
$4.99 is an absolute bargain. So definitely make sure that you're watching this. But Megan, listen, absolute pleasure. Thank you very much
Thank
for
you.
taking the time to speak to me tonight.
Thank you very much. I really appreciate it. It's
Well,
good.
listen, enjoy the rest of your training. I hope all goes well next Saturday. And yeah, listen, we'll catch up again at some point. Okay.
Perfect. Thank you
All
very
right.
much.
Take
Bye.
care. Bye bye.
Bye.